What's up and welcome to this week's episode of How Not to Summon a Dungeon Master. Previously on The Outsiders.
I would like to use one of my drones secretly and just send that in. They're quiet.
It doesn't matter
because they're not real bees. They're not real bees.
Pay no attention, pay no attention.
And then you just see him fly and slice straight up and goes straight through Batman's chest. The cowl gets cut. And then you see Batman just drop. The Outsiders were disbanded. What are you doing operating in Gotham? Batman made us operational 10 months ago. We've been doing things the Justice League can't. Going places they can't. And then he turns around. Queen, take us to the Watchtower. So you were rushing off to the Watchtower. Soaring through the skies of Gotham aboard the Queen, Rumblebee's ship. A fitting name. You can hear the gentle hum while you're inside the cabin. You can, if you want to, have a look around, interact, do some stuff, or we can go straight to the clock tower. You already took a souvenir.
I did. I've already taken an arrow. Is there anything else?
Not that
shiny.
Not that it's probably worth anything or small. There's a lot of like gadgets, but it's
the arrow
grapple.
belonged to Rumblebee himself, correct?
Yes.
Right. What in there belongs to the boy?
The only thing there is a spare suit, and it looks distinctively different.
What, so it's Rumbleboy's suit?
Yeah, Bumbleboy has.
Bumbleboy, that's right.
His isn't armoured like Rumblebee's is. He wears like a thick, or like a carbon over the chest and protecting organs and bits and his arms and everything.
Other than that, it's cloth.
But other than that, yeah, it's a fabric underneath.
But nothing else in there belongs to the boy.
Bumbleboy's looks almost like it's just cloth. There's nothing to protect him like there is Rumblebee.
It's not exactly good.
What weapon does he?
Is it?
What weapons
it's a
does
bow
he
as
use?
well.
Okay, does he have different arrows?
No, they use the same equipment, yeah.
I'm getting real kick-ass vibes.
I wanted something distinctive of his, because I've taken something of Rumble's.
Highs or lows?
Highs.
It's a 2.
Oh.
There's nothing in here for you.
Apart from what he's gone in.
And it's actually like all nailed down. I have a question.
Yeah.
If he's see-through, where's he hiding this arrow?
No, it's in my saddlebags and my horse.
Yeah. He's got saddlebags on his
We've
horse.
got a horse in here as well.
No, the horse isn't in it. It could be.
We don't know.
right next to
If I summoned it, it would literally appear on the ship.
Is there a weight limit to this ship?
But we've already established there's 6 out of 10. So technically, as long as my horse isn't bigger than four men,
Oh, it's a big horse.
it's a big horse.
It's like I imagine it's like a proper fast Shire type of horse.
Yeah. No, I won't summon the horse.
Yeah, don't summon a horse inside a giant, a small ship. Can I see that he is...
You could probably see the head moving around. You wouldn't be able to see what he's looking at, but you can see like the hat and stuff darting around, just kind of eyeing stuff up, being inquisitive, maybe.
There is nothing for you here to take.
I don't know what you're on about.
I can feel your eyes burning into the back of Bumbleboy.
I don't like him.
It's a very good choice of words.
What?
Don't worry about what. All will be revealed.
Just take a seat.
I don't like him.
I'm going to go sit next
I
to
don't know why
Nightwing.
you don't like it.
Okay.
He's a small child.
Absolutely fine. Yeah, she is just strapped in and having
His
kind
attitude.
she's downtime. Like the posture's dropped. She's tired, very clearly, and closer inspection, you can see that she's a bit worse for wear. She's been working through the night, and probably started in the day.
Yeah.
She's tired, bruised, battered, and you can see her kind of holding certain parts of her body as she's just worse for wear.
I'm just going to put my hand on her knee and say, take a rest.
Yeah, and she kind of puckers her lips a bit in a stern way, kind of like takes a deep breath through the nose. Not tonight,
There's always tomorrow.
if we're lucky.
I didn't miss this.
And then
I didn't miss this.
hand goes to ear. Oracle, open the tower, and the clock face lifts, As you approach, you can see it through the front windshield. As you fly in, the ship spins a bit and lands on a pad that it can hold something bigger than this.
Like a horse?
This was built for the Batwing.
A clock tower. Where is it based?
Is
Is it Wayne Industries?
It's not. No, it is actually a clock tower. It's like a Big Ben within Gotham.
Built by Bruce Wayne.
For himself?
Purchased
Not
by Bruce
personally.
Wayne as a part of the Bruce Wayne Foundation to restore and maintain the clock tower in its as a monument,
in
as
essence,
a land.
probably at the minute you see that that's a base, you could start connecting those dots anyway mentally.
Yeah.
I probably have. I'm just thinking about.
You
I
did-
would have remembered that it was purchased to restore, and I'm like, Bruce Wayne has something to do with this.
Yeah, so the Bruce Wayne Foundation owns this building for the purpose of maintaining and restoring a piece of historic Gotham. It was also the home of the Oracle. When she was wheelchair bound, this was her base of operation. This is where she did everything she did to help the Bat family. Still, she replaced Alfred, pretty much, as the one on the comms. Alfred is old and dead, just through age.
I did wonder if he was alive.
No, age has taken him. Batman is pushing 60, so he was
Alfred,
worse for wear and not as quick as he once was, as strong as he once was.
Alfred was like long gone.
Alfred's been gone for
Yeah.
a good 2 decades, 15 years.
Are we aware of the details around the death of the other members?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So,
Oh,
you can actually ask. None of you are so far. So, which one?
Who are we asking? Are we asking just
You can
Out
talk
to
to
the
each
group.
other. You can,
out to the
like...
group? I'll put it out there while I'm sitting there and I'm looking around the ship and that. I'll just, out of interest, I haven't been filled in on why or how the other members of the Justice League have been killed. Does anyone have any insight on the cause of deaths?
I don't, but that's a very good question. I'd like to know.
So, you would know some of them because there would be public spectacles.
I mean, my main
You would
focus
have
is
seen
obviously
them.
Superman.
the real
like-
reasons.
Superman was killed by Lex Luthor.
Right. So
Lex
he was taken down by Lex
Also
Luthor.
died in this as well.
Who did? Sorry.
Lex Luthor.
So they
so
killed
it-
each other at the same
It was
time.
his big green Krypton killer suit, which is like a battle suit that he made, a bit like Iron Man's Hulkbuster, but for Superman. And he succeeded. Lex won.
And died in the process.
And yeah, the Hulkbuster stopped when it killed Superman. It didn't go anywhere. Give me an insight check, all of you.
18.
An 18.
27.
27. 8.
8.
So,
Sorry.
Jim, through your kind of rigorous ear to the ground, everything's a conspiracy theory attitude.
I imagine my entire
Red string
apartment is
everywhere.
Red string everywhere.
Case files,
corkboards.
photos, fucking the lot.
Yeah.
You know through investigation and being places you should not be, it's not public knowledge, that the Krypton killer suit was found empty.
So we don't know that Lex is dead.
No. Lex hasn't shown up since then, and it is assumed that he's dead, but only Jim would know that. The rest of you would kind of only know what the news reported, that Lex is dead.
Yes, of course, yes.
And he's a big figurehead in
Yeah.
Metropolis, absolute bazillionaire and influential, so public knowledge that his death, he hasn't shown up since.
Are we aware of the League of... Is it League of Doom?
The Syndicate.
Yes. The one that Lex was a part of
Yeah.
and various other members and
Yeah.
so we're aware that existed.
Absolutely.
Could we
yes.
not then, if Superman was taken down by Lex, could we not assume that members of perhaps the Syndicate have targeted each individual of the Justice League and taken them out?
You can. That's for you to decide. You would have the knowledge that they've never succeeded in the past, even
No.
together.
Okay, so some of the other members then. Who else would we know about?
So you've got the Flash, big public
yes.
face.
Only the ones obviously we're aware of, but yeah, would you take us? Can you take us through each
He only was found with a body. There is no cause of death
one? For Flash.
for the Flash.
He's dead.
He was pretty much just beat to death. That is the public knowledge of what happened. Again, you can give me a roll to see if you know anything extra. I'll
10.
tell you what was publicly knowledgeable.
Just
you
a
give
10
me
for
your
the
rolls.
Flash.
Could I roll?
Yeah, absolutely. So you would all seen the news, and
That
whether
one.
you know any more would be your own kind of personal. I went
Yeah,
out
of
my
course.
way to find out this stuff.
No, only a 10. I think that was the highest out of all
Jim?
of us.
A 15. No extra information. You just know that the Flash was found beat to death. There is no wounds puncturing his body. He was just pummeled to death
Right.
beyond recognition. If it wasn't for the suit, you would never have guessed it was the Flash. He was swollen and battered. Like someone absolutely took it out on him.
Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter, he was burned alive.
Isn't he scared of fire?
His fear is fire, yeah. And he
Wonder
was-
Woman.
Wonder Woman was actually strangled. She was found with
With
her
a
own
lasso.
lasso around her neck, hung and displayed.
Okay,
So
okay,
you've
okay.
got the Green Lantern.
Yes,
Aquaman.
yes, yeah.
Um,
What happened to Ryan Reynolds?
Killed by Ryan Reynolds.
The Green Lantern was found with multiple puncture wounds and the ring gone.
I was going to say.
But
I have an important question.
depending on what you know about the Green Lantern, the last thing a lantern does is tell the ring to find a new owner.
Yeah. Of course.
So he was found public clothing, no Green Lantern suit, just a normal man dead. Multiple puncture wounds.
What about Aquaman?
Aquaman was actually defeated on land, of all places. And he was in a rubble pile, seemingly crushed to death.
Caught by a Japanese fishing boat.
He was missing a fin.
Make lipstick out of that.
Um,
That's a cure for impotence.
who died first?
Superman was the first down.
Of course he was.
Who was the second?
Wonder Woman.
The two most powerful.
Then the
taken out
Flash,
first.
Green Lantern, Aquaman.
They've done it in
Batman.
power order.
The red string's coming out now, innit?
My red strings were going a while ago.
They were taken out in power order. Was it 100% confirmed that Lex was in that suit when he killed Superman?
No.
So the assumption was that
the
Lex
news-
Luthor was who killed Superman.
Yeah, they've seen the suit before. Superman's always won. He kind of tears the suit apart, pulls Lex out. What you doing? Go to jail. Get a good lawyer. Gets out.
But yet Lex is nowhere to be
But
seen.
Lex is nowhere to be seen, and is presumed dead. And his company has been handed over to Mercy.
And where is the suit?
It is actually in possession in Metropolis, and it's stripped and in for investigation and technology. And
Where do the same old Batman villains still reside in Gotham,
yes,
like Joker and
and
etc.?
Clayface,
is he
Two-Face, Joker. No.
Are they currently at Arkham?
Yes. Yeah, most major villains. Batman won the war.
I didn't know if it was worth
He
talking
kind of, when he realised he was getting older, he did everything he could to make sure that before he had to stop, this was done. He didn't count on the people of Gotham going rogue when he wasn't active. It wasn't something that he planned for.
He
thought
got
if-
to a point where that fear of their fear of him.
as long as he was around, the bat signal was shining.
Yeah.
Gotham remained a safer place. He won the war. Every major villain he ever fought was either dead or in Arkham.
And are they? We are
Yes, you
confirmed
are
they're still there.
100% under the impression they're still in Arkham, but there's no news of a report of a breakout.
Or anything like that.
Arkham is well armoured and well looked after.
But there's obviously rioting going on, which could lead to prison, which could lead to breakouts.
It's like a rotating door policy. There,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so no major players on the streets. No Joker, no
That we know
Two-Face,
of.
no Clayface, no Slappy.
What about gangsters wise?
There's the big players, as there always is in these types of cities, but they are run-of-the-mill gangsters now. They're not kind of trying to control
Penguin
the
level.
city penguin level of gangsters, yeah.
Penguin's not in Arkham, is he?
Penguin's dead. He was already old. He's Alfred's age, canonically.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cobblepot.
So the Iceberg Lounge still exists, but it is just the Iceberg Lounge. It's not home of the gangster that is the Penguin.
It's run by penguins now. Instead.
I was going to say it's like part of Poco Lounge. It's now a franchise.
Right.
Riddler's still alive as well.
So Riddler is alive. Okay.
Yeah, he'd be quite old.
Yeah.
He'd be in his 50s.
Poison Ivy.
Still alive. Both in Arkham.
We're getting a bit of a run through of everything here, which is good, because I'm trying to,
No,
catch
build
up to-
Gotham. Absolutely, you should be building a
I'm not
background
having that,
and a
I'm just
history.
trying to build
Catwoman.
up for...
Catwoman is alive, but she runs an orphanage and is retired.
Whoever was... I know the news report said that Lex killed Superman, but he was never successful. What if somebody else was driving the suit? Somebody more apt than Lex himself. Lex wasn't limber, he wasn't a fighter.
No, the suit made him that. And he
But
needs,
if somebody skilled at fighting took
if someone
the
knew
suit,
how
they
to
could
use the
operate it
suit,
better.
anybody could use the suit.
Mercy runs Lex's company now, and she's a fighter.
She's also a bit more than that.
Yeah.
I turn to both of you. I'm guessing you're sitting with me now. And
We're all
I
sat
also imagine you're
closely.
talking quietly at the
Yes,
back of the ship,
yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
out of earshot.
I mean, I'm sat with Nightwing.
Nightwing.
But I
Turn
thought it
to
was
you
quite
then.
tight anyway.
Yeah.
I turn-
Yeah, the ship, but between the back of the ship where the seating is, there's an entire kind of equipments and spare suits, and then the cockpit where Rumble...
Like a workbench.
Oh,
Rumblebot,
okay,
yeah.
so these two are with me and
Yeah, yeah,
Nightwing.
they'd be at the
Right,
back,
okay,
yeah.
so we're all...
Yeah.
Us four are there.
I just say quietly to you both, let's hear what they've got to say and keep our information to ourselves so far.
We'll hang tight until we arrive at the clock tower.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So,
Discussion's done on the ship, yeah.
the tower opens, the clock face kind of slides open, splits in two, making room for the ship to enter, and it lands on a landing pad that it's clearly... This ship is too small for. This is holding bigger ships is what this thing is used to. From your knowledge of the Batman, you know the Batwing would have landed here. A huge hulking tank of Air Force.
Is the bat balloon in here?
The Bat Balloon.
Is
And the
original?
shark repellent spray.
That would be in his cave, wouldn't it?
Is it still
You don't know about the Batcave.
there? No.
No, but as a...
You might,
I would assume that I would know.
He
but
walks in every weekend.
No.
the Batcave is...
Maybe
un-
not been in it, but I'm aware of its existence.
Yeah. Yeah, the Batcave is very, very, very need-to-know knowledge. And barely anybody knows it exists. If you're not top-level Justice League, you do not know.
That's fine. I've just seen the bat balloon in the sky.
So you emerge into the clock tower and the door opens, revealing the inside. Emerging on the other side, you find yourselves in the heart of the clock tower. The inner chamber is a breathtaking spectacle with colossal gears suspended. The actual innards and the working of the clock are all here for you to see open. There are dimly lit bulbs within the gears that cast warm glow, creating an otherworldly ambience. This isn't a well-lit area, but it's enough for you to... It's like a nice restaurant kind of lighting. And you can hear the gears and everything in the background. It's kind of relaxing, methodical sounds. There is a specially designed landing pad that you've just landed on. There is computers everywhere, but these things are makeshift. There's wires running across the floor, and screens that are suspended from the ground. They're not on the walls or anything like that. This is a makeshift area that's just kind of been left to be a makeshift area. In the center of the room is a holographic projector, and in it spins a blue bird, not the Bat logo, projected from the hologram to the middle of this room. And there is a figure in a wheelchair operating the computer. And Nightwing comes off the ship and goes up to this figure, goes, "Dick, here's the information." And he turns around and you can see a greyed-haired, older man, probably in his 40s, very late 40s as well. and he's got 2 escrima sticks tucked in the side of his wheelchair.
Stick Grayson.
Yeah.
And he brings a computer to life, and in front of you, the hologram switches and recreates the scene, the crime scene, for you to investigate. And there are numbers everywhere. What are we doing?
I will have a look at the investigated scene and see what I can see from this 3D projection.
I want to go talk to Dick.
Okay, so we'll do Jim first. So the scene highlights lots of numbers, and as you get closer, some information pops up from these numbers that are based on what piece of evidence it's found that might be odd. Some of it is junk, and as you pass through them, you can recognize what's junk, and you're kind of ignoring it and swiping left because don't want. It's a Tinder joke. And there are some on the floor that are scratch marks from the blade that, as you walk around and gather, you kind of grab. This system's very intuitive. It's a bit like an iPhone. You just kind of pick it up and know how to use it. What you expect to work works. You swipe away stuff you don't want. You grab stuff you do want, and it knows and starts compiling information. You start grabbing bits and pieces. You go to Batman's chest and you can see the hologram of his body, and it's all kind of... It looks digital and weird, and as you're waving through it, the light kind of doesn't bend behind you because the projector's in the middle, so it casts a huge shadow onto the side of the clock from the inside. And you start grabbing bits, and you go to Batman's chest and you grab that bit and you put it behind you, and it starts gathering bits of information until eventually you get enough to put a figure together, and next to him is the weapon at this computer's best guess of what it could be, and the figure stands at 5'11".
Can I sort of enlarge the...
Yeah, you can. Yeah, absolutely. So the handle is a best guess. The really only detail that is huge is the hilt, the base of it, the pommel, is very plain, but it does have a handguard to stop it being grabbed out the hand, which is unusual. That tells you that it has been grabbed out of the hand, and they've learnt that lesson, so it's got like a flat bit, a disc on the bottom. So if it was grabbed, it would just hit the bottom of the palm.
Like an old police truncheon.
Yes, yeah. So it would like a knot on an old police truncheon. So that's a lesson learned, which makes this more unique, because that means it's not your run-of-the-mill store-bought black market sword. This was purpose-built,
Made to order, yeah.
It copies the rest of what it can see. It shows you where it got that information from, which is during the fight you can see the base of the hilt and a bit of the lacing and the knots and everything in between, and it's kind of compiled that information to best guess what the rest of the handle looks like. So you can't take it as fact, but it is green in colour, and it's got a very old style intricate knotting system for a handle, so it still uses something that is traditional rather than form factor. So it's not carbon fibre, it's not some modern material, it still uses a classic knotting for this handle.
The guy that trained Batman,
Yes.
is that was it
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul, yeah.
Yeah. Is he still about?
He is immortal.
He has a green sword, right?
His entire colour code is green.
Well, would I be aware of any of that, though?
You would know of Raish. You wouldn't... he might spring to mind because of the sword, but...
That's what I was thinking. I'll say it out loud as well as I'm thinking. As I see the sword and everything, I'll bring it up.
Yeah, he's more in your face about what he does.
Yeah.
Because he's very...
I just thought he's got the combat...
He showboats a lot, but
prowess.
he absolutely has a skill, and this is a weapon of choice for him.
Yeah.
Is a sword.
So
Who's this?
the man who trained Batman.
One of, yeah.
But
What-
his signature is green, and he's immortal, like me.
What
it could
about
be
Batman's child, the one he had with Talia? Al Ghul?
So that's not public information, but since you said it out loud, the rest of the room would know. And you, because you're stood next to Grayson, you see him get a little bit choked up and upset about that. We don't talk about Damien.
I will note that.
I'm sorry, Dick.
Damien would be in his 30s and would have been trained by the League of Assassins first and then Batman. But as you're close to Dick Grayson, when you're stood next to him, the dim lighting in the clock tower becomes apparent as to why it's dim. You can see all over his body burns. Just horrendous scarring. Yeah. He is just covered head to toe in scarring from burns. He does not look like the handsome gymnast, the boy wonder, at all.
I'd like to use one of my hero points to add something to the scene.
Okay.
A bit of equipment or something.
So, as you're wading around, you follow the hologram and you're going through all the numbers, and then you're ignoring the numbers.
Can it be in the bookcase?
Something that didn't get picked up because they thought it might have been Batman's. And it looks like a Batarang and acts like a Batarang, but it's circular in shape, like a circular blade.
Like a buzzsaw?
Kind of like a buzzsaw, but it is just like a sword's edge all the way around. There's no spiky bits. It's just an extremely sharp blade.
Yeah. Like Oddjob's hat.
There aren't many people that would mimic a Batman tool, let alone make it their own, and drastically more dangerous.
Can I take it out?
Yeah, so you can extract it from the scene as a digital item, and it will
expand it.
It tells you that it's not your common metals. This is something much, much sharper and stronger. It retains an edge.
Same metal as the blade itself?
Yes, and the same metal that Batman would have used on his gauntlets for the spikes to stop blades. And this particular sword won that fight.
So I'll expand it out. I'll check the actual composites of it. Find out where those composites could be made. Or someone that could.
So it is a
that.
100% man-made material, and there are very few people that could make it. One of them you know of that you would have access to because you have access to the clock tower is Lucius Fox. But Lucius Fox has been dead for 30 years.
But not his research.
Not his research.
Somebody.
And the only people that have access to that research are Batman's closest, or someone trying to imitate Batman to the point of an obsession.
I will use this bit of information. I'll pick it up.
You'd be aware that Batarangs would have been left throughout Gotham. Like, he doesn't go around collecting them every time he uses them. So the material is always there, but to make something out of it would require a lot of money and the right people.
Are we aware of the location of his son?
No.
Didn't know he had a son.
It's news to me, however. If the pieces of equipment are so similar to his, and he trained his own son...
Have I got the info, by the way?
Yeah. You can absolutely take the
and
metal,
like
and you've got Lucius Fox as
Can
one
I
possible creator, but then you're talking 30 years ago minimum he would have had to have done that, because he was an old man at Wayne Court when he made this equipment.
Yeah.
Can I now put the two and twos together?
You can do
Lucius
what you want.
Fox, Bruce Wayne, Bat technology, all that stuff now. I don't want to say it, I just need to know it as like a background investigation information that I can put two and two together now that Batman is Bruce Wayne.
That's up to you.
Well,
you can come to that conclusion.
I'm going to.
And it would make sense.
With Lucius Fox being the head
Yeah,
of the
Lucius Fox was a huge public name. And the Batcomputer having his information as the creator of Batman's arsenal would absolutely tick a box for you.
Okay. I'll go up to
And
the
your
group.
kind of conspiracy theory paranoid
Is there anybody
self
else?
would absolutely put them there.
Is there anybody else actually doing the investigation of the scene, looking around, or is it just me at the
It's
moment?
just you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go over with the holographic in my hand. The information says that very few can make this. This is our best lead.
And you see Dick reach up, and he has to reach up because he's seated.
Sorry, I'll put it down.
And he grabs it, and the information kind of copies, so you've still got hold of it, and he expands, and it tells him the metal composition and
Is he familiar
sharpness
with it?
of the edge. These are Batman's tools. These are my old tools. No one should have any access to this. Not unless someone copied it from somewhere, but...
Who would
there's
have
only-
access?
There's only two places to get access, here and the Batcave.
Not
And
at
the Batcave
Wayne Corp.
hasn't been used for 10 years.
Not at Wayne Corp.
We don't keep any records of Batman at Wayne Corp.
I think we need to go and check the cave.
I don't know where that is. Are you sure there's nothing at Wayne Corp? Lucius Fox's
100%
research will be there.
all records were wiped on Lucius's death, and the only hard copies that exist are in Wayne Manor.
Was there anybody that helped Lucius?
He was a one-man team.
Is there anybody in the Bat family that's not around anymore? That
You're looking
fell out?
at the only two members of the Bat family still active.
Where's Red Hood?
He's gone. Inactive. No one's seen Todd in a decade.
So not dead, just
He-
missing.
He reconciled with Bruce. They became friends. His vendetta was over.
Are we aware of what happened to Robin?
There hasn't been a Robin since Damien. It was considered too dangerous to take on another one after Damien. That boy had a knack for getting in fights he couldn't win.
I'll ask the question. I'm guessing you've been investigating all of the deaths of the Justice League.
And he turns around and you see him tapping away on a screen. It's like an iPad that's on his chair, and he's one-handed tapping away, and then the hologram changes.
Anything
It's like,
interlinked?
I've got every crime scene from every Justice League of Death there is.
I'd like to spend a hero point to find another object in one of the other crime scenes.
Okay, which crime scene? Which one do we want to look at?
I'm going to go Aquaman,
Okay.
crushed on the rubble.
Harpoon.
Yep. So the crime scene. He pulls up the crime scene. So you ask to see Aquaman's scene of death,
God, he
And-
was a handsome man.
and he was. We're gonna go with a Jason
Momoa.
Momoa look.
100%.
Absolutely, big, hulking, handsome, drunk man.
Yes.
I wanted the first Aquaman.
Speak to fish, Aquaman.
That one.
The riding unicorns.
Yes,
Aquaman.
that one.
And it's the scene pulls up, and it's just rubble that's been pulled away. There's a huge pile on one side, and under it is Aquaman, and he's slumped like he's in an armchair kind of position. You know, when he's
Yeah.
like that, but he is laid down in that position, like arms up on different levels of rubble, and he is just crushed. Do you want to look around the scene? And
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
May I as well?
Yeah.
Of
So you
course I'll go
walk
to
around the
investigate.
scene, and
Can I investigate?
yeah, absolutely. So there's things that stand out really obviously. The cause of death is really obvious.
The crushing.
This guy was crushed to death, but even under this weight of a building on top of him, it didn't outright squish him. It's just ribs caved in, skull caved.
It was enough pressure to kill the man, but not
this is a man
completely.
that can take pressure.
Yeah.
So they knew what they were doing.
That's a 24.
A 20.
No, actually, 26.
Do you want to give me a roll as well, Sheeny? Since
Oh, I
you're
just
looking
used my
around the
hero
scene?
point
Oh,
to find something specific.
So, you both kind of walking around the scene in your own little pattern, looking at all the information that's been catalogued.
yeah.
Then you go to Aquaman, and you inspect him closer, and Jim, you kind of grab and stretch, so you can get like a proper close look at the armor.
Is there something in his armor?
And you see a clean cut, a tiny nick, but it is so clean, and it must have been strong to pierce Atlantean armor.
So a blade has run him through.
A very tiny nick. The armor stood up, but there is evidence that he was nicked with a blade. A building on top of this thing couldn't crush this armor.
This for me almost confirms that the man that killed Batman is the same man that killed Aquaman.
Can I almost like cut the body and turn it So I can see if there's actually an exit wound.
The armor
No, he
wasn't.
said the armor stood up.
The armor
it
stood
stood
up.
up.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
But it's
stood
been
up.
cut.
But you can see a very small but clean slice. And this armor's had a building fall on top of it, and it stood. It's strong. Atlantean armor is ridiculously, absolutely
But
tough.
in comparison to the
this-
metal of the blade that we had pulled up earlier, would we assume that this metal could potentially pierce Atlantean armor?
Yeah,
because
it
Batman's weapons could pierce.
whoever did
Armor?
it wasn't strong enough to run it through, but the blade was sharp enough.
Which makes sense, because he's strong enough to kill Batman because he's a man, but Aquaman wasn't a man. So
No,
it's a
it's an
different,
Atlantean,
yeah,
which
it's a
means
different
he's-
thing.
Skin's thicker.
But what it does confirm, I believe,
That it's linked.
is that it's linked and that it's a man, one person, not a group of individuals.
I'm going to ask for the next scene.
Okay, so which one do we want to flip to? And
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. So Grayson, he starts swiping and clicks, and then the hologram changes, and the Wonder Woman scene pops up.
We'll just target the body every
And this
time.
time
And
we're now
it's-
looking for it.
It's you can see Wonder Woman slumped by the neck, with her own lasso around it, just tied to a beam in a warehouse.
Can I, with that, can I have a look and see if she was actually strangled, or is that post?
Oh, you mean like if she
Is
was
it set up,
If she was
displayed?
displayed. So the cause of death is strangulation.
I'll still look for any wounds on her body.
So you don't see any hand marks around her neck or anything like that. If that's what you're hinting at, There's
No,
no-
I'm looking
you
for
can
puncture
see
wounds.
you can see the rope burn where she struggled, but there's no punctures on her body whatsoever.
Strong enough to strangle
There
Wonder
is
Woman.
one more hero point though. Depends where you want to spend it, on what you know of Wonder Woman. You need to take into account what you would publicly know as Wonder Woman as well.
Is she? She's not the one that's made of clay, is she? The rest of them,
She was built from clay.
or is it the rest of them that are also built from clay?
No, the rest of them are normal. She is built from clay. She is a god.
Does she have?
She has godly powers
Yeah,
in the
but-
form of strength and everything else.
When she dies, would she turn
She
back to
also
clay?
has a shield. No, she doesn't turn to clay. No, she is she is a living being.
She does have a shield, that's correct.
And a
There's
sword.
something else that goes along with
A
the shield.
sword.
So she
Oh,
was
she's
well
got the
versed.
sword.
So if she couldn't be bested in a sword fight,
What's-
something else might be the way to kill her.
Can I have a look around the scene
Yeah, is there
and
something
see
else?
if it's almost an entrapped scene? Just looking at where she was actually killed.
So there isn't a full scan of the warehouse. You've got the roof and the beam that it's hanging from, and you've got Wonder Woman and the ground around her in about a
But could we assume these heroes have been dragged to certain locations?
20-foot radius.
Can I see
there's
For
no,
these fights?
There's no.
Specific.
Can I see drags?
There's nothing special about this place.
No, I
So,
meant like lured. As if it's
Um,
almost like this person has lured the heroes to a specific area that gives them advantage.
you would have to deduct that yourself and
Yes.
guess that yourself. If you want to go with that, then that's what your character goes with. It's
So,
not
so we are to
information as a
assume from
DM
Wonder
that I can give
Woman
you
she bested in a sword fight,
Yeah.
and therefore had to be beaten in other means.
She keeps her sword and stuff on her back, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And they're not
So
there.
they are on the floor on the left.
Yeah.
Is there anything
So
attacked to
no
them?
trophies taken.
Yeah, but is the shield and the sword? Has anything happened to them? Is it cut in
No,
half?
so
Is
they
there-
are magical items, and they are stronger than any man-made metal.
So including
so
this
that
katana.
Hence why she couldn't. Whoever they are couldn't best her,
Right.
because no matter what, their metal would never break that metal.
Yeah,
Floor of the
100%.
warehouse.
Yeah.
Do I see anything in marks on the floor, as in like drag marks or
you
anything?
do, yeah. So there are some really kind of thick ones that are quite about a foot wide, just short of, that you would guess is the shield being dragged along the floor, probably by being hit or Wonder Woman pushing the shield. But the drag marks go one way, which means it was hit the floor and then pulled or pushed
Or kicked away.
or kicked away or something. Yeah. So and there's blade marks on the floor as well, where both swords would have made contact with the floor. That would put them in a cross pattern, so they would have matched on quality of fighting.
Yes, yeah.
But could not.
Evenly matched sword fight.
Yeah.
Last scene we need to pull up is Flash, I think.
I was thinking Green Lantern.
All of them can be done. They're all here and ready.
But which one do I want to use
But
my
I
hero
know-
point on?
Well, we'll bring up the next scene. We might as well investigate them all.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. So who
I
do
think
we
we
want
should.
next?
Flash.
Flash.
And I want to use my hero point.
Okay. So Dick Grayson pulls up the Flash's scene, and
Yeah, this one's curious to me. But he was beaten to death.
Dick, he turns around and he goes, This isn't like the rest.
I had a feeling.
2 people were killed here. And he loads the scene, and you see a teenage boy in a yellow Flash costume, and Dick wheels onto the scene as Kid Flash was tied up
used
and
as
then
bait.
beat to death to lure the Flash.
Used as bait.
Well, we'll investigate both bodies.
Okay, so you investigate the first one, and Dick's wheeling around this one as well. He's interacting with you as well, and he wheels over to the Kid Flash, and he taps, and it brings up the report, and it's multiple blunt trauma
To where?
everywhere. The entire body was pummeled with something that is a club, a pole, but anything that is recognizable about Kid Flash is gone. Jaw broken, head caved in,
Any CCTV?
arms broken, legs
This
broken,
one seems more personal.
ribs were done.
Have you got CCTV of this?
We don't. This was a lone, abandoned warehouse in Central City.
Seems so much more personal.
There's 2 abandoned warehouses.
Easy location, nobody around. It makes sense to lure them there, like I am
then
assuming they are.
Dick turns around and wheels over to the Flash, and the first thing you notice, he has no feet.
They're cut off.
Well, that would mean
To
why he
stop
didn't
him
run
running.
away.
You
Yeah.
can't leave.
He and Dick looks up and goes, "Our best guess is the Flash came running in and couldn't stop. Came blindsided,
Ran into a trap.
and his feet were cut off.
The only way you can stop the Flash.
Does the feet look clean cut?
They are, they are
Like-
straight line.
Are they around?
They are, yeah. So the Flash tumbles, and he kind of stretches, and the image of the Flash in the wall on the opposite side is there, and he's just kind of slumped against it with his
Was he
bleeding out,
beaten?
and then head caved in. To,
So personal.
but
Instead of
his
just a
ribs and stuff aren't affected. They purely went for
The face.
just the face and the head.
It's personal. That says to me that person had something against Flash personally.
Could I start bringing up individual smaller screens with different scenes
Yeah, you
of
can.
them?
Of course you can.
And I'm starting to piece these bits together.
Just quickly, my hero point, did that do anything for the equipment that we find?
So, the clean slice on the feet is surgically clean. It is ridiculously clean. And you would assume that the blunt trauma on the Kid Flash is a crowbar.
Is there anything on the scene to show where the Flash would have entered into?
Yeah, so you look
Where
at
his
where
feet are.
Yeah.
the Flash
Yeah.
landed, and his feet are at a door on the opposite side of the warehouse. So he literally had them cut off.
So they were laying in wait the minute he came through the
yeah.
door. Almost like you'd hold your blade ready for the strike.
Yeah, and they are
Any wire?
no,
This person's cut him as he's come
literally
in at
ran through the
unrecognisable
door.
speeds.
That's disgusting.
To time a swing for the entrance of the Flash is no mean feat. What? No,
feet.
No pun intended.
I imagine that was said.
Jim's picking up the feet. He's leaving them for later.
Next scene.
Who do we want to go to?
There's 2 left, isn't there? Lantern.
Yeah.
Green Lantern. So, the Green Lantern is beachside.
He was having a holiday.
And there is loads of pummel marks in the sand that suggest something huge hit it. Green Lantern can make whatever his mind can imagine as long as he's got the willpower to do so, but if he loses will, then he loses his powers. Dick is explaining this to you. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was must have scared Hal, and that man was fearless.
So he lost the fight almost immediately.
Our best guess is he lost the fight because he stopped.
I'll survey the body again.
And it is a very clean cut, a single stab through the chest.
Does it look like it could possibly be the same stab that killed Batman?
So Jim will walk over and he will use the hologram to measure the incision.
Remember,
And
I've already measured it.
And match
yeah,
it to the
exactly. Yeah, so it matches.
So it is just one individual.
Just going around killing them all.
It could be a group. We can't discount that yet. Could be a group of individuals with the same tech.
Is there any security footage from any other scene?
No, they were isolated.
I guess we
Purposefully
have
so.
one left then.
Clock Tower. Do you have access records to the Batcave?
From here, we have every system in the Batcave.
Somebody has got access to the Batcave at one point and has used the tech.
We need a list of everybody who was part of the
It's a small
Bat
list, I
family
would imagine.
or outsiders.
That could just be somebody that found out about it.
And
Yeah, but
The
we
moment
need to
you
start
say
at
that-
home.
Rumblebee speaks up and he clears his throat a little bit and walks to the hologram. I am the outsiders. I'm the last surviving member. Everyone else failed. We go dangerous places. The outsiders' mortality rate is high. I don't want to lead this team. I'm the only member of this team until you.
Do you want to bring up the last one?
Bring up the last one. Can you dig up the logs while we're looking at the last one?
Yeah, so logs for what?
The Batcave.
Batcave. So this system is linked. It used to be linked directly to it, but it's not anymore. The Batcave was deemed kind of outdated 10, 15 years ago, and it stopped being used. Batman's kind of presence in Gotham became more of a threat than an actual fine-criting punch you in the face, stop it kind of guy. He won the war. He didn't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So the Batcave was shut down because it's not needed. All links to the outside world severed. So we've done Green Lantern, we've done
Martian
the Flash,
Manhunter.
we've got the Martian Manhunt
That
left.
is the last one, yeah.
Oh, and Soups, but...
And Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dick pulls up the Martian Manhunter file. And he wheels back over to the computer and you see him fidgeting a bit and it loads in and numbers pop up and everything else. Dick turns around and goes, this was precise. This was surgical. He was lured to a burning building before it was burning. And once inside, they just set the place ablaze. Martian Manhunter didn't stand a chance. And it's the crime scene is a just charred Martian body. And it's a husk. I mean, like, you couldn't even pull fingerprints from this if it weren't for the fact that his skeletal structure is different. You would never recognize anything about it. And the entire crime scene is just burnt clean.
Question is, how do you lure him there?
When the crime scene comes up, can I just sort of go a bit and have a bit of a flashback?
So, yeah,
A
absolutely.
burning
The
building.
fire.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, this one might hurt a little bit more than the others. So you might sit this one out, or maybe
I'll sort of
even
just...
take a... you might be worse at this one than the rest, and let someone else take the lead. So you're walking around the crime scene, and you asked how he was lured here. In the wreckage, we found Skeets, Booster Gold's companion. It's a tiny little robot about the size of a American football. Booster Gold and Martian Manhunter are good friends.
So whoever this is has knowledge of not just the heroes themselves in the Justice League, but they've been using the connections of said heroes to lure those heroes to isolated spots.
Where's Booster Gold now then?
Booster Gold has been dead for 10 years. He was already on borrowed time. And he pulls up the file of Booster Gold and puts it on the screen, and it's got this handsome kind of American quarterback looking 20-odd-year-old kid in a gold suit, and it's covered in like Pepsi and sponsorships like an American football team. Booster Gold was all about the money and the fame. It was never about being a hero. Skeet was his time-traveling companion. Booster Gold is from the future, and he came back to make a name for himself, make himself famous on the level of Superman, and join the Justice League and go down in history. And he attempted to do things that is above his level and lost. Skeets is stuck here without anybody being able to tell him what to do. Martian Manhunter kind of looked after him a little bit, and he became somewhat of a pet, for lack of a better word.
Whoever killed them knew their weaknesses.
Which is what makes me think it's somebody who is part of the Bat family or outside
I think
previously.
we should go to the Batcave.
Spriggot, did you know all these people?
You would have general knowledge on them, probably a bit more than
I
general
would-
knowledge. Yeah, you would know identities.
have some of their
and-
items.
Would you by any chance have access to Bat technology?
I was aware of the Batcave, yes. I know perhaps more than most about all the members of the Justice League. I have been around for 500 years.
Would you by any chance have a Batarang?
He left them off and
I
up around town.
took one anyway
Yeah.
from the library. You saw me take it.
Would you
I
have
do.
one from previous times?
At my manor, I might.
And do you know exactly where it is?
I have a lot of things at my manor pertaining to all heroes.
A-list, not B-list.
So you have an extensive knowledge on their weapons.
I do. I have a collection of many things. I even have a piece of kryptonite.
My eyebrow raises. But you don't know exactly where all this tech is.
My stuff is stored in a safe place at my manor. Do not worry. Nobody would have touched. I've not left my manor. Remember, till now.
So you say.
Well, I have to go shopping sometimes, but
Bring up the file.
He was
of
just calling
fast
me Dick.
finger Spriggots.
And he, I don't see the point in this. There isn't much on him. And he taps away and he brings up a file, and he just, he's labelled as a curiosity. Lives on the outside of Gotham in an abandoned manor. It's a bit run down, but it's part of public land. But no one goes on it because it's said to be haunted. And it's just got a little background on him, but it's not much. Most of it is
a lot of missing pieces.
redacted. Dick looks a bit confused and goes, "Hold on, why is..." And he starts fidgeting and typing away, and you hear him clickety-clacking, and he's trying to... Like, I can't break Batman's encryption. What's redacted is redacted, and it's just got a very basic file, name, location, abilities, but apart from that, it's not got anything else. There's no kind of family tree or anything like that. It's all black labelled.
Man comes out of nowhere, and the Justice League is all dead. He has access to all of their weapons, and we find weapons of the similar things on the sites.
I'm standing dead still. I hope you're not pointing the finger at me.
It's exactly what I'm doing right now. And if everybody in this room isn't fucking thinking the same thing...
I'm not apt with the blade, I'm afraid. It's not my forte.
I don't know what you are apt with.
These.
But
pull out
apparently-
pull out my gun.
But apparently you're well known to Batman,
We were acquaintances, I've told you this.
and you had access to his technology.
Not access. I took trinkets. I collect.
I'm keeping my eye on you.
Very well. I shuffle back. Ever so slightly.
I mean, come on, it's nobody else in the room putting this two and two together. Guy turns up out of nowhere, has access to the fucking bat technology. There's bat technology on all the fucking...
I'm pretty sure that all the Justice League would have just been like death touched. He seems pretty much like he's sword fighting is too much for him.
You mean a man that had the fight take out of him?
Yeah, but he had
Was
his
scared to death.
He had his feet chopped off, and also Martian Manhunter was scared of fire, not death.
Yes, I'm not a fan of cutting people's feet off, I'm
Remember the
afraid.
Green Lantern was?
Well,
Oh no, he's got a good point there. That's 1 out of 7. 8, if you count.
How much do you know about this man?
how much
Pardon?
does anybody know about this man?
Only what we've been told, and now also
And what
we've
he's
been told.
told us?
That's because I've laid low for many, many years. I've been around for 500 years, cursed.
He
I even
has-
told you this. I'm searching for the man that cursed me.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. And none of the people, other than Wonder Woman,
I'm trying to be better.
oh, and Superman. Is Superman immortal?
Clearly not, because he's dead.
Yeah, but does
You're
immortal mean that you can't be killed, or just that you
I-
just live
Immortal
forever?
means
I will
you just
chirp
live
up
forever.
and go, you cannot kill me.
You're the one that likes killing, not me.
It's, you cannot kill me. By all means, please try.
Join us next time where you can find out the answers to all of Jim's rants and more on The Outsiders. If you've got any questions or queries, you can go to our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at How Not to Summon, or join our Discord at How Not to Summon a Podcast, or go to our Linktree at How Not to Summon, or join our brand spanky looking YouTube at How Not to Summon a Podcast.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. I've been your DM, Grayson.
I've been Humphrey Fastfingers Spriggot, the #1 culprit.
I've been your conspiracy theorist over here. Jim.
I've just been Tawny.
See you later, guys.
Torn in between a rock and a hard place.
How do you not see that from
Yeah,
my
no.
point of view?
Like, that makes perfect sense.
Like, I've put this together. Like, this guy comes out of nowhere, shows up,
Says he knows all of the Justice League
says
of the
he knows
Batman.
everyone, says has access to
No, it
everything.
makes perfect sense.
Literally scares the shit out of the Green Lantern so he stops fighting. Cannot be killed.
True, but I'm not the man in the CCTV footage. Although
How would we know
could be
that?
that could be doctored too.
How do we know that?
I'm rather good at movie editor.
In your 500 years of practice.
I mean, how is nobody else in the clock tower going?
No, fair.
looking
I
at
am
him going-
the most odd of oddities.
You
It
are.
makes sense.
And also, a
Batman's
restricted
redacted
file.
you, yeah.
Redacted file.
From Grayson himself, who is Batman's #2.
Like, and he comes out of nowhere after 500 years, and that's what he tells us.
I think Lee's trying to do the final bit. You keep talking.
the red tape.
Fucking tinfoil hats off. Everything.
Go on.
Let's just end it.